Hello everyone and welcome to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. Thank you so much for joining me today and seeing what I have on my table. I am currently binding my sparklers. This is the panel that came in the Fat Quarter Shop's Liberty box. So this will complete every project in that box once I get this bound. So let's just get on into it and let's have some chitty chatty time. I've already got this on my table and got it started, and of course I never have enough room on my table, so I have to kind of move things around. Okay guys, you're probably wondering why there's a little change here and I got a glove on. I got a needle in my finger for the first time ever, so I've got a band-aid, and what happened, I was pushing and my finger slipped right under it. So, and I replaced my needle. Thank goodness for the Fat Quarter Shops. I'm thinking it was Sew Sampler that we had needles in our Sew Sampler. I think it was that. And Amy, thank you for the gloves in the box to give away. Unfortunately, they're not given away. I'm using them. I'm going to see, and I will replenish them in the giveaway box to give away to somebody else. But I figured right now I could probably use them pretty. Oh, this does make it easier. Why have I not done this before? Now, but guys, we are working on finishing this. This will be the actual first box, subscription box, that I have completed everything in it. And first box that I've gotten that I've completed everything in it. And absolutely love everything. Because normally I'll do one project, but I don't normally do both of the projects in most boxes that I get. So I'm trying to be better about that, because if I spend money on these project boxes, I should be doing the projects. Now, this is a heavier quilt that I'm doing, or throw that I'm doing, because it is that panel, and I think it's a lot bigger. And y'all, I'm sorry if I keep rubbing my nose, but something about this weather has gotten everyone in our area. I'm not even going to just say my home, because where my husband works, he said everybody has that cough that they can't seem to get rid of. And, you know, they feel pretty bad for like 2 weeks. Nobody's testing positive for anything. So they really don't know what's going on. But I know my daughter works at a doctor's office, and she says that everybody's sick too. You know, that it's just some kind of summer cold. But I don't remember summer colds ever making me feel bad. I don't feel bad. All I have is just a runny nose. But I imagine it's not far behind. Okay, so now I have to remember to pull my quilt up. Y'all are going to see how much quilts I have here. I have a lot of quilts here, because now I need to turn this, and I don't want it to be heavy on my machine when I turn this, and make sure my binding is straight. Then I'm just going to sew right into that corner, and I'm cutting that thread. I really have got to get my system set up. I'm going to do something on my table that helps me with my quilts. And I just have not broken down and purchased what I need to do it. Because I'm always so busy sewing. I don't ever have time to do that. And if you saw the video released yesterday, which I'm recording these in the same day, or you saw the community tab, you know I've got a lot going on right now. And project-wise, I mean, yes, there's a lot of family stuff for my children going on right now. Which does kind of affect me, but a grandbaby is not affecting me. I love keeping my little grandbabies. So I will have my grandson Thursday and Friday. I can't feel with that glove on. With this glove on, so I kind of have to feel where that's at. So I will be having my grandbaby, my grandson. I'll have him while his mama works Friday and Saturday. She's trying to make up hours and that she missed while her daddy, you know, while she spent time with her daddy. And so she's going to be working the weekend, and that way she'll make up some of her time. And I'll be keeping the baby while she does that, which is okay. I don't mind keeping him. It just means that I don't get anything sewn because he is a you have to watch him kind of baby. And now that I'm going to be keeping him, I need to work on getting some of those boxes where they need to be. Yes, I know those boxes should have been gone by now, but I've been sewing. I work a 40-hour job. And I come home and sew. Pretty much that's what I do. But that has not been a priority for me to get those boxes out of my living room because they're divided. They're bins that have, I've gone through boxes and put things in certain bins. You know, I've already done all my donation stuff and got that out of the house. But the rest of what I have right now is what goes back into certain rooms, and I have the bins per certain room, you know, like the master bath or the kitchen. And you're probably wondering why would I have kitchen stuff in boxes in a storeroom, because everything got put in that room. It became a storeroom because I was doing a remodel on my kitchen. And I took stuff out of the cabinets so we could paint my upper cabinets. And some of this stuff has just never made it back out. And I know if I haven't used it since 2021, I probably don't need it. And that is when we boxed a lot of this stuff up. And that's because that's when I started doing my remodel stuff. But that's where we're at on all of that. And I hope to get all of that done here pretty soon. I'll probably get most of it done. I know I'm working on some of it tonight, because if I'm going to have him Friday, I have to get what I can done pretty soon. And I don't know. My husband heads back out to work. Well, the day you are seeing this, it will be tomorrow. But he will be leaving out the day you see this, which is the 4th. So, and my plan is to cook burgers for us tonight. And that's probably what we're going to do tonight. And I have some cucumbers, or a cucumber out of my garden that I'm probably going to slice up and marinate it in vinegar and oil with some onions. And I have a tomato that came out of his dad's garden. I just did a garden too late for it to be doing anything, so I'm just hoping I get something. Now I know my okra should do good because okra is a hot crop. It's okay with the heat as long as you water it. But I know I'm starting and stopping here. I'm just trying to make sure I am staying on that edge. And I've got lots of projects I'm wanting to do this week. In the video on the 3rd, which is the day I'm recording this, I just released it. I told you what my plans are to get done. And I actually want to get more than those 5 done, but those are the ones that I have to get done. So I have a video for y'all every day. Because I didn't have you a video on Tuesday. And I don't like that. That does not make me happy, so. This is hard to get this where I can do all of this in this little old bitty space I got. But you do with what you got, and it works. So I hope everyone is going to, if you have plans for 4th of July, I hope you have a blast. Stay safe. Don't get overheated. Have lots of water. I remember when I was younger, I loved to be on the lake, the river. Well, we were on the river. It wasn't a lake. We were on the river every 4th of July. We'd go swimming on the river, and sometimes, have a cookout. Or we'd be at my mama and papa's, and we'd have a fish fry and watermelon and spend time with family. I don't know what my children will be doing. I'm pretty certain my son will be with his wife and baby doing something. They'll probably be somewhere swimming. My daughter, I don't know what they're doing. My oldest daughter, I have no idea. I haven't heard anything. There are no plans. That is normally how my family goes into a holiday, is with no plans, but we end up with about 50 people at the house. But honestly, I am fine if I have no plans. I don't have to do anything. My plans are to catch up on my sewing in my house. That's my plans. trying to keep my binding straight here, and it just kind of wants to go cattywampus on me. I think I'm picking up strings off my floor over here. Y'all, I do have my Facebook group out there for the sew along. I have people that have said they could not find it. I did include the link in the description. It is on, I'll put it in the video, this video as well. It is on my community tab, and it's in this video, and it will be in every sew along video that I do as well. But I'm so excited to get to that. And we may continue doing sew-alongs because I really enjoy doing them. But I will let you know in advance if I'm going to do a sew-along. So if you want to sew along with me, you can. You're more than welcome. There won't be any structure to them at all, really. But I can tell you probably the first one is probably just going to be cutting. I'm probably just going to be cutting my fabric. I don't know if I'm going to use my Quilt because I have not yet looked to see if I have that dye, because it does not matter if I don't. Oops, I've gotten off on my, I'm going to pick that needle up, and I am going to get myself back on that larger seam there. When your quilt is heavy, it kind of pulls it. And it got over there to that 1/4 of an inch again, and I definitely do not want a 1/4 of an inch, and I need to trim that. And I'm probably bumping all over y'all too, so let's see, I should be close to, nope, I think I got one more side to go. I'm going to just get that under there so I can arrange my quilt here. I was planning on using today as a complete sewing day. That did not happen. My husband and I saw that my favorite quilt shop, they got a new line in, and oh, it is so pretty. I didn't buy any of it, but I will be in the future. But it's gonna be pretty. And I may be buying some pretty soon to finish a quilt that I have going. get this edge out there. And I hope to be finishing that quilt this week. It is one of my projects that I actually told y'all in the video yesterday, the projects that I have that I want to get done, and if I only get one project done a day, I would still get what I want to get done. Because I won't have my grandson all day. Friday, I will have him, I think, until about 3:30, 4 o'clock. So I'll be able to save in the evening because I get home later than that from work. So I'll be able to get at least one thing done on on Friday and Saturday. I am making sure my finger is staying out of the way there. Whew, I don't want to catch another one. And it just, okay, just so y'all know, it just tore a little bit of the skin on the side. I didn't get my whole finger up under there. I was kind of doing what I'm doing now, pushing my fabric, and my finger slipped. That's why I put these gloves on, so they can't slip now. And I'm very excited to get to new projects. I'm excited to finish off the projects that I have going, and so I can get new ones started. Not that I don't have enough going all the time anyway, but who doesn't like to get a new project started? I love it. Trying to make sure that's not in your way. But so far, we are at about, I'm going to say 30 minutes, because about 5 minutes of that was me trying to get my husband to come put a Band-Aid on my finger, because I couldn't open the Band-Aid box with only one hand, and I was holding my finger so it wasn't dripping. But you know, these things happen. And if you've sewn long enough, you will catch your finger somehow, scrape it, not necessarily catch it under the needle and all that stuff, but if you've sewn long enough, you've gotten your finger under there when it shouldn't be under there. Okay, got a thread I need to trim, and I do try to trim threads. Yeah, I just noticed my mic is right up under my neck there, so I'm hoping y'all could have heard me okay there, or could have heard me. I didn't say all my words there. I'm sorry, y'all. But if you have sewn long enough, you have gotten your finger caught in some form or fashion, whether it be scraped by the needle or under the needle or something like that. It's gonna happen. That's the first time it's ever happened to me, and I'm 52 and I've been sewing since I was like 8 or 9. I'm gonna say 9, but probably younger than that actually. But it's no harm, no foul. I'm good. I can still sew. So I'm good. Okay, so this should be the starting edge right here. I'm just making sure that's good, and I'm going to find where those two V off right there. And I will have to stop so I can, I've got a clip here. Let me clip where I want to stop, because I want to give myself enough room to attach the two ends of the binding . Okay, so here we go. We are at the place, and I'm just going to put a couple extra stitches in there. So now what I need to do, well, that was supposed to have cut, and it didn't. So I cut it for it. Now what I need to do is, I'm going to use pins because I can press my pins, because they are the magic pins, wonder pins. I can't remember what they're called, but they are heat resistant. Now I know I do not need all of this fabric, so I am cutting down here because I know I don't need that, because I'm overlapping really well here. And just kind of to find the center here. Making sure that's flat. I'm going to put a pin right there. And then I'm bringing this one up. And let me get it on flat surface here, because I want to leave about 1/8 of an inch there. And I'm going to pin that. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is press these two. I'll show you there. I've got these two together. I'm going to press those two. Okay, now that I have these two pressed, you're probably not going to be able to see this, but I just have a way, and I've shown this in several videos, how I do my bindings. So this side has to be face up. And this side has to be face down. So what I'm going to do, let me go on and do this before doing my face up, face down. I just clamp that extra fabric there. So let's see what we can do here. Okay, it's like this. I'm making sure I'm doing it right. Face up. And this one, face down. Okay, now how I do this, I make sure that I am matching up in that cross section. Okay, so now I have pinned them. So what I am going to do now, I have to sew from top left to bottom right. I'm making sure that is correct. That's correct. I have to think about that. So what I'm going to do is I get my little marking tool and my friction pin. Got to get that out of my way, so because I need a flat surface. I do need a flat surface to do this. I mark everything, and I just like to do that just to stay on the safe side. Oops. I just broke my friction pin lid. It must have already had a little crack in it. Put things back up. Now let's sew this, and say do not cut. Never cut until you have sewn and verified that it's the correct direction and that it's going to work. And what I'm going to do is sew on that diagonal line. And take these pins out. We're going to see if that worked. Did that work? Did I do it correctly? I do it wrong so many times that I'm okay with. Oh, it looks like it did perfect. So what I'm going to do, because how I know it did perfect is when I pull this, and let me take this clamp out. That lays perfectly flat. So now I'm going to trim this off at 1/4 of an inch. Ooh, that made a mess back there on the back of it. I had some string that was hanging out there. Or thread. Had some thread hanging out. And I am going to trim and press. So I will be right back, guys. Okay, so now I have this on my sewing table. I am going to put that glove back on. And what I will do is just start a couple stitches behind where I stopped, even though I did give it a good support there. I'm just going to put that needle back in there, making sure everything is flat here. And I know that's getting in the way there, but we are just about done. Okay. Now, what we will do is flip this over and start sewing it on the front side. And I am just going to flip where I am at. Let me get this quilt up here on the table. Now, when I go quilting on the front side, I do put some clamps in it just to hold it in place. because that binding wants to go to the back. So what I'm going to do is just start by, you know, getting one little piece turned over, and it just kind of helps me, you know, keep that pulled tight, how it needs to be pulled tight. And you'll probably see I'm not really doing them much more than like 4 to 6 inches apart. And I'm just making sure that's good and tight rolled over it there. Just to hold that all in place. Okay, so now what we are going to do is, I'm not actually starting where my first clamp is. I'm starting towards the inside, between that first and second clamp. And what I am doing is I'm making sure I have my fabric running next to the left side of my foot, and that'll give me a 1/8 seam. So it's a real thin seam, and this does cover up that stitch line where I just stitched the binding on the back. So what I'm going to do is move that clamp down and just keep going. I'll keep, every time I go to one of these, I'll keep making sure that's a tight bind on there. And I'll just keep moving the clamps down. I'll move that one down a little further when I can see a little further. Now we are getting to the corner, so I am making sure that side goes down. Now this is where I will clamp, put clips in, and I'm going to have to take this off so I can feel what I'm doing. my sewing machine is getting a little dirty in there because it's making noises. And normally when it makes that noise, it's time to clean it out again, which I cleaned it out before I started, but being that I'm working with batting, sometimes it catches that lint up in there on that needle, and it just makes it where I need to clean it a little more often. Well, I was fixing to say I think we're on the home stretch, but we're not. We've still got a good ways to go. I think that was just the first side. Or maybe the second. Okay, yeah, we are now on our last side. Now, I am not a perfect binder by no means. I got a lot of mess-ups, but the quilt will be bound good enough for me to use. My corners, they're not mitered. They don't. I don't know what I keep missing on that. I think that I'm not stitching them together good enough. I'm going to have to research that a little bit more. But we are coming to the end of this project. And yes, I'm going fast. I want to get this done. Trying to get this done because I am actually at an hour and a half binding, so I do not want to have that long of a video. I will probably speed you up through most of this. Because I know you don't want to watch in binding. It's just binding. This is just a finishing up project. That we're finishing this, we're getting it done. So now we can move on to the next one. And I will have a picture of this, the full quilt, at the end of the video because I do not have enough room here in my sewing room to get a full-length photo of it. So you will have a full-length video, a full-length photo at the end of the video. And there we go. It is done, done, done. So, let's see how much I can show you though. Now, I do know I have lots of threads to be trimming. But, that's what I've got. I will include a photo at the end for you to see. So guys, one more 4th of July project out of the way. So happy 4th of July to all of you. I hope it's safe and you're cool, not hot, and out of the sun. It's very hot here. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, have a very blessed day. Goodbye.